And in the awareness of God present, let us pray. Father, Mother God, we give thanks for this opportunity to be open to the awareness of your presence here, now. As we invite you into our awareness, we are filled with your love. We are blessed with your love. And we express your love. Feeling your love moving through us, lifting us, transforming us, healing us. We gladly allow this love to move into this moment, to bless each and every person, being in this moment. And for this awareness, we give thanks. And so it is that together we say, Amen. We'll bring the darkness into the light. Boy, it's been an interesting several months, hasn't it? We've had hurricanes. We've had destruction of Puerto Rico. We had the massacre in Las Vegas. We had the fellow driving a truck down a bike path in New York. Last week we had someone come into a house of worship and kill 26 people. We've got the political situation. We've got North Korea and Trump trading insults. We've got the various celebrities and politicians who have now been outed for their prior unjustified acceptance of I don't know what that was, but nonetheless, we have issues that are going on out there that are creating an angst that, to one extent or another, we're feeling it. And so I got a call from someone this week and expressing that angst. And so I thought that it would be a good idea for us to take heart and express what's going on with us as it relates to these various situations. So I open the floor to you. How are you handling this stuff that's going on? What's up with you? Who would like to share? Okay.
One thing I recall several years ago when Living Water was still at the dojo, there was a speaker, guest speaker, and I wish I could remember his name now. He lived near Colorado Springs. I've got his book. I believe it was called Sacred Quest. And he referred to, at that time, the explosion of fundamentalism, the bad things that were going on, the things that seemed to be counter-evolutionary. And he compared it to a supernova, where these things were losing strength. Really, they were about to explode. And that is why they were flaring up. And I guess that is my hope. My hope is all these flare-ups will lead us to evolve and lead us to take responsibility, take action, and help us all move in a positive direction. Because it's hard to be complacent with everything that's happening, whatever your passion is, and all the things that are happening. It's time to step up and discover what you can do about it.
Glenn?
Been doing a lot of research over the last few years, Diane TV, YouTube, and other sources about ascension and this whole world transformation that's going on. At this time in history or present or whatever you want to call it, in time. And also, I've done a lot of research over the decades about spirituality. I did a 3-year ministerial course. And given all this that I've learned, I feel certain in my heart that this transformation is going to follow through to a very good conclusion, way beyond what you might think might happen. And what's going on now is essentially just part of the old going out to allow the new to come in. And so that's the way I see it. However bad it looks, we are moving forward in a positive direction.
You? Anyone else? Yeah, Michael? Yes, you do. No, you do, because we are webcasting.
Is this thing on? I guess it is.
Step away from the speaker. There you
There
go.
you go. I've been watching us. These things are coming out, and I really have believed that we're living in a false sense of innocence. That truthfully, our society is, a great deal of it is based on, I don't even know how to say what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry to do that. What I'm saying is that all of this stuff is coming up because that's what we've been doing, is leading up to that point. That so much, if you could pull some of the bass out of that.
So my question was, how are you handling this? What is your personal experience with this stuff?
1 in 5. There were 44,000 suicides last year. That's just mind-numbing. Of those 44,000 suicides, 7 out of every 10 were white men. The white privileged men. Of all those suicides, 50% of them employed some kind of gun. This individual who committed this atrocity in Texas clearly suffered from mental health issues. We know that from what's come out over last week. But we have so many people who are in this situation, this predicament, where they need help. And we stigmatize them to the degree that they cannot step forward and say, hey, life is kind of tough for me for these reasons, and sometimes I need help. We stigmatize mental health as being something that is morally centered, and somehow these people are just ethically or morally inferior in some way, that somehow their condition is their fault. And that's a bigotry I've dealt with it in detox for so long. Getting an individual to the point where they can at least step forward and say, hey, I need some help with this. I need some help with that. I'm not okay all the time. It's so hard to get them to make that step. And it seems as though that all the energy is going against any rising up or lifting up of the people who need help. And that's very, very hurting to me as an individual. It's hurting to us as a society, that we don't empower those people who are vulnerable to step forward and seek help when they need it. We look at people and say, well, that person's okay, and that person's okay, and that person's okay, but that person, maybe not. Having been on both sides of that issue, I can tell you that it's very stigmatizing. It's very difficult to be that vulnerable, to step forward and seek the help that you need. But it's there. Thank you.
This last week, I was very lucky to get an invitation to go to the Boulder Women's TED Talks, and they were free for the day. And I went from 8 o'clock in the morning till close to 6 that night. And every 15, 20 minutes, an inspired woman came on there. And they were from all over the world. And so that's a lot of speakers and a lot of inspiration. And it starts to go through you. And I got on the bus, and Mark said, so what was the day about? So that was a lot of people and a lot of things. So my summation was, and I still think it's true, is from all these women, it was stay inspired and hold on. Just, a woman from Rwanda, was part of the genocide, half that were getting killed, and she got out of the country barely. I guess that woman really impressed me, but there were a lot of them. I would say again, stay inspired. And just hold on, you're alive, hold on.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yeah, John.
Well, in hearing all this, I just feel that it's important that I remember that seen, heard, and tasted the light before, and that it'll be back again. So I think, what can I do? And I think one of the important pieces is practice forgiveness. I mean, to people around me, and just look within a little bit too, and just to be mindful that we've gone through phases, but it's going to get better. And I just try to stay optimistic, and I've been told I have a good sense of humor. And so I think people need to practice their gifts in general. I think that will really blossom the world again, and you've got to find a way to keep the light around you, or in your hand, or wherever it is, to know it's still there.
I think Barbara was looking. Oh, sorry, Monica. Monica was looking.
What brought to my mind was goes along the lines of what Kay was sharing. That some people I know think that this stuff that's going on is kind of the last gasp of the white Christian patriarchal culture, and if we can hold on, the divine feminine will arise, and we will go back to the matriarchal culture, which was what the Native Americans and those cultures had for thousands and thousands of years. So, with that said, we can't get at the end without going through the middle. So, more prayers are needed.
Anyone else? Yeah, Rose.
Yes, what I feel is that the darkness that surrounds us is a lack of respect for life, the life force that's in all of us. And I look at each individual and hope to see that glory in each face and try to concentrate on that other than the other things that are going on that affect us. For me, I've had a period for about 2 years that's been very uncertain and very dark, and I kept holding on to that my life's a book, and this is a chapter that has ended and a new chapter is beginning. And so this week, my daughter faced all of her charges in court, and I'm done with that part of it. And one of the things that came to me as a gift was that the court just said, you have showed up. You've suited up and showed up for 9 times in this courtroom, and I'm going to waive all the court fees. And I didn't know, like, how much money that was or what that amounted to, but it was the gift for just keep showing up, keep being supportive, keep looking for ways to help, and to pass that on to others, that you just sometimes sit there and just walk through it.
Ginger?
Sometimes when I'm faced with so much stuff going on, there are 3 phrases that come to my mind, and you can call them affirmations, which I guess they really are. The first one is from Course in Miracles, and it's, let me see this rightly. Second one, also from Course, is what is mine to do? And when I sit with that, or move on during my day, the answer invariably comes to me, let go and let God. And that may become trite, as a lot of things we say that quite a bit, but it is so important, I think, to remember that. For me, it has been. It's been a tremendous source of comfort for me, and a way to hang on and to move on.
Thank you. So,
just to tag on what Ginger said, yeah, those Monday mornings driving in the car to work, or just like particularly this last one, was awful. I mean, and getting out of the car, seeing the bright blue sky, and taking some breaths of the crisp air, and thinking of the blessing. But I go back to what one of my Unity preachers back in California did a great talk, and I don't know why that particular one stuck with me, but it was, let me bring my good. Just as a mantra, let me bring my good. And, saying it when I walk into work, helping me to bring that forward and not bring the others.
Thank you all for your comments. Indeed, we have the reaction that we have, whether we notice it or not, the reaction that we have to these situations is fear. Whether it springs from that Monday morning angst of, taking a deep breath and being thankful for being on the right side of the dirt, it's fear. And the way that we process fear is often to subsume it, to drive it underneath. And what happens when when you do that, what that happens is that you have a foundation of fear that bleeds into everything you do, everything you say, everything you think. And the fear in and of itself is destructive. It's destructive to you, to each of us. It is destructive to your relationships. And it provides no support for those others who are also in fear. It actually fuels their fear. It gives them cause for saying, oh shit, that person's in fear, and I'm in fear. I think I'd better take on that person's fear as well, because who knows? Maybe that person's fear is more valid than my fear or whatever, but it magnifies and it rolls. It's like a snowball rolling down the hill. Interesting thing about a snowball is it's frozen water. Interesting thing about unfrozen water is that it also flows. And the interesting thing about the way it flows is that it flows in the direction that we allow it. Our thoughts are a stream that is flowing down as a cascade, and it is up to us as to where that flow goes. One thought leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. And if the first thought is in fear, the second will be in fear, and the third will be in fear, and the fourth will be in fear. Recognizing that dynamic, we can make a choice. We can say, wait a minute, that's not what I want to experience. That's not what I want this moment to be about. I would rather this moment be about love. And we can make the choice then and there to have the thought based in love be what we express, and how that then flows. The next thought is going to be based in love, and the third thought in love, and so on. Now, it's not as if fear will not creep in, and indeed, fear is contagious. Fear can creep in. So we need to be continuing to focus on what we want this moment to be. Course in Miracles offers us these thoughts. The way is not hard. It's talking about this movement from fear to love. The way is not hard, but it is very different. Yours is the way of pain, of which God knows nothing. And it is the pain arises from that fear. That way is hard indeed, and very lonely, as we've all experienced. Fear and grief are your guests, and they go with you and abide with you on the way. But the dark journey is not the way of God's Son. Walk in light, and do not see the dark companions, for they are not fit companions for the Son of God, who was created of light and in light. The great light always surrounds you and shines out from you. How can you see the dark companions in a light such as this? If you see them, it is only because you are denying the light. But deny them instead, for the light is here and the way is clear. And 3 paragraphs later, in your mind, you can accept the whole sonship and bless it with the light of your Father gave it. Then you will be worthy to dwell in the temple with him, because it is your will not to be alone. God blessed his Son, all of us, regardless of gender. God blessed his Son forever. If you will bless him in time, you will be in eternity. Time cannot separate you from God if you use it on behalf of the eternal. And what is the light that we're talking about? What is that great light? that great light that surrounds us, permeates us, emanates from us, is unconditional love. And if we are willing to be the transmitter of that unconditional love, if we allow that unconditional love to nurture our thoughts, to continue to guide our thoughts, regardless of the fear that is coming in, we can allow our thought stream to be one that is based in love, and out of that thought stream will come love. We look back upon the perpetrators of these various atrocities that we've seen. And one of the things that we can be assured of is that each and every one of them felt disconnected from this unconditional love. And why is that? What is it about the conditions that each person has found themselves in where they are disconnected from this unconditional love? Because this says that that love's there all the time. It is their awareness. It is their choice not to, or perhaps they're ignorant, but it is their choice nonetheless not to be engaged with this unconditional love. A Course in Miracles, lesson 92, offers this. Forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. It is your forgiveness that will bring the world of darkness to the light. It is your forgiveness that lets you recognize the light in which you see. Forgiveness is the demonstration that you are the light of the world. Through your forgiveness does the truth about yourself return to your memory. Therefore, in your forgiveness lies your salvation. And there it is. If there is one lesson in the Course, some people will read through the Course and one lesson will stick with them. That could be your lesson. To practice the giving of this unconditional love. To practice that in each and every moment. To be there for someone who is in pain and offer them unconditional love. You don't have to evangelize. You don't have to do anything but just be there. If the words are necessary, those words will come to you. But the important is to be there in love. Be there in love. That is what you are. You are the expression of God's love. And in that unconditional expression of God's love, you are the light of the world. You are the one that is bringing light to the darkness that that person holds. You are the one that just may change that person's life forever. You may be the stimulus that turns the darkness into a glorious sunrise for that one person. Be aware of that. Be aware that you are the transmitter of unconditional love. You are the reminder of unconditional love. You are the catalyst that can bring that experience of unconditional love to a person. It might be in the form of a buck. It might be in the form of a kind word. It might be in the form of a smile. It could be that your smile is the only smile that that person has seen in the last several days. It could be that your smile is the reminder to that person that they are the light of the world. We'll have our meditation. As we come into our meditation, let us come in with I cast all my cares. As we settle into this moment, as we feel this love all around us, and even if we don't feel it, we can image it. Allow yourself to feel this ocean of love and swim through it. Allow yourself to feel this love arising within you, spreading to each and every corner of your consciousness. Allow this love to illuminate the dark corners of your soul. Allow this love to flow over the regrets that you have held. Allow this